And we welcome you back to Mustang Friday Night on Tradio, our title sponsor tonight, Grove's family of dealerships. Joined again by head coach of the Grapevine Mustangs, Coach Ryan Smith. Coach Smith, how's it been this week?
Man, pretty good. Just kind of getting back rolling and getting guys refocused kind of on Seguin and getting them ready to play.
Well, speaking of getting refocused, I did want to do just a little bit of a recap from last week against Everman. What were some things that you noticed from taking a look at the film that you definitely want to be working on leading up to your game against Arlington Seguin?
So, you go back and look. I thought Coach Smalls and our defensive staff did an incredible job. I thought played really well defensively. We obviously didn't finish in what we call the green zone. So the red zone for us is 20 to the 8-yard line. The green zone is the 8-yard line to the goal line. We're in the green zone 3 times and can't finish but once, and then have to block field goal. And we're consistently one guy away. The thing for us right now with where we are as a program and in kind of our rebuild is we're at a place where we have to completely obsess over controlling the controllable entities within our program. Two of those is our attitude and our effort. We've been trying to kind of reframe their game day experience. We've been trying to kind of reframe, what they do, from a standpoint how they operate pregame. We do some different things. Last year, we kind of got the impression it was a very tense, quiet, don't talk, which is nothing wrong with that model. That's just not really who I am. And we've been talking about the term loose but locked in. The first game, we weren't loose, but we were locked in. Once we loosened up, all of a sudden we started playing well. Game two, I thought we found a very healthy balance of being loose, relaxed, but locked in, and you saw the results. This past week, I felt we almost got a little bit too loose and less locked in, if you will. And so you kind of saw the results of that. So that when you get into controllable entities, like we talk two different terms. I think on Friday night, I tell our kids, on Friday night, everybody's hyped. Everybody's hyped. Everybody's ready, hyped up for a football game. But hype is something that will last you about a half a quarter. But we want our guys to be emotionally invested into what the game requires. And we want them emotionally invested into 4 quarters, 4 days, whatever it takes. And that's kind of the term we use. So we come out of it, not so much even a schematic thing. I think we had a good scheme. I think we missed a few third-level shots that we got to hit defensively. If we don't miss 5 tackles on one play, we win the game 7-6. They had one explosive play. So those are things that we focus on. And when we come in on Saturday, we watch the top 10% and the bottom 10%, the good and the bad, if you will, of the game. And our 5 bad plays that we showed our team on Saturday morning in review, those 5 plays would have resulted in the score. If we just don't have those 5 bad plays, the score would have been 28-0. We would have won 28-0 on 5 plays. And whether that was a defensive stop, whether that was a special teams field goal, whether that was, finishing the run down on the goal line, on the check we had, those type things. And I mean, that's extremely frustrating when that game could have been a shutout win and you end up losing it late just because you don't execute a couple plays. So, those with where we are as a program, nothing's a loss, everything's a lesson. And getting our guys to kind of understand that mentality helps us to play forward and to have a forward mindset.
Well, definitely some plays that were left to be desired for sure, Coach. But as far as the performance that was on a high note from your defensive side, definitely want to call out a couple of players here. First, Jaylen Carson, who had the key interception earlier in that game. And I just want to ask from you, Coach, what has been the development of him here lately from you go back to the offseason to where he's at now? What kind of progress are you seeing from him?
He's just a kid. Had played a lot of football, so him being able to come in and find his rhythm in it and start to make plays. I'll be honest with you, the interception he had, he never knew he even caught the ball. He never even saw the ball. He was breaking on the receiver, and the ball just hit him in the chest. And he goes, "Oh, okay, cool." Uh, which, hey, man, that's a great thing because he's moving fast. He's getting to the football. Um, Excited about him. He has measurables. He has length. He has a lot of things that you just can't coach. And when he applies those things, it makes it pretty, it makes him pretty special. Excited about him. He's doing a good job. He's starting to kind of lead that back in and communicate things really well for us.
Well, hey, it's all about being at the right place at the right time sometimes.
100%.
Yeah. Well, another standout player I want to talk about is Jerren Butts Jr. At that size that he possesses down there in the trenches, we could clearly see it from the press box. And it looked like he had a pretty productive night on Friday, being able to contain his gaps and also to cause some pressure against Everman. What have you seen from him lately? Because he really had a standout game on Friday.
Yeah, so Jerren moved in. He's a recent move in for us. He hasn't been with us long. But he's done a phenomenal job. And the thing about him is he's a big teddy bear, man. That's what I told him. I was really proud of him. We honored him with a weekly award. And I said, "Hey, dude, please stop picking people up after you knock them over." You know, and I was half kidding, but he is such a, gentle John, if you will. But man, smile on his face all the time, just a lot of fun. And he gives us a presence, and it allows us to get a little bit more positionally sound with some other guys because we like Hicks on the edge and kind of moving in space a little bit more than having to catch some double teams. Jerren he can manage those double teams as big as he is, as strong as he is. He can manage some of that and free up. And you just don't understand how important it is for our linebacker play to have a guy like that in front of them that can absorb some of those double teams and keep them from getting chipped off and getting climbs to the second level.
Well, going into this week's game against Arlington Seguin, Coach, you talk about just hitting that reset button. What is the game plan like for you all this week? I mean, what are you noticing from Arlington Seguin, and what does the Grapevine Mustangs need to do to be successful on Friday night?
So Coach is a great guy. I've known him since 2022, and then obviously playing against him at Midlothian Heritage, but then also on the recruiting trail, knowing him, from recruiting that area, it put us in a position. I know him; he does a great job. He's building a good culture there, and I mean, they're athletic. They run well, but schematically, we're going to try to create leverage with alignment. We're going to try to do some different things like that. That's going to put us at a spatial advantage. And our job is to put our guys in position to be successful. Well, that's us studying scheme, knowing alignment, knowing assignment. Trying to limit their explosives is a big thing for us, and that's kind of a focus point for us.
Well, Coach Smith, we appreciate your time as always, and folks, stick around after we come back from commercial break, we'll go over some keys to the game and get you ready for Grapevine versus Arlington Seguin. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. PTL, go Stains.